Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Wednesday, June 15th at 7:42 a.m. here in Northern California. In today's video, we are looking at the relationship between the Bitcoin price chart and the 200-week moving average. There's a lot of anticipation and hope that the 200-week moving average is going to hold, when in actuality, we've already broken beneath the 200-week moving average. The question is, what is the next level of support, and what does this mean, and why? All right, so the 200-week moving average, let's just start by turning it on so that we can take a look. First of all, you can see that we're beneath it. All right. Now, if we close above it, we still got 4 days and 10 hours. That will just be a wick. But for now, we are beneath it. If we, I'm just going to look at the price chart right now. We'll come back to the RSI. But if we go all the way back here to 2015, you see that the 200-week moving average was support. All right, it was basic support. We had a long wick down below it, but basically you could see we stuck pretty close to the 200-week moving average. Coming up over here to December of 2018, the 200-week moving average was support once again. So the Bitcoin price chart, we had to check in with the 200-week moving average, but then we took off again. So this is really what the history of Bitcoin looks like. You know, breakout, come down, check in with the 200-week. 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 What a bear market looks like for Bitcoin is a retest of the 200-week 200-week moving average. I keep saying EMA, is just MA. All right, now, this was different. March 2020 was different. March 2020, even though if we look at the body of these candles, they stayed pretty close to the 200-week moving average. We did close one weekly candle slightly below it, but the very next week we got above it, and all we had were long wicks. What we actually did was test the 300-week moving average. So historically, the 200-week moving average is support, but the one time we pierced it, the next support was the 300-week moving average. And if we remember, this was a massive liquidation event. This is what happened, like liquidations galore. So we're going to have to talk about Michael Saylor in a moment. But this was a massive liquidation event that took us down to test the 300-week moving average. Here, as you can see, we are solidly below the 200-week moving average. Just really hundreds of dollars away, maybe just a couple $100 away from a retest of the previous all-time high in December of 2017. So I think there's two possibilities. One, this retest of the all-time high from 2017 is the bottom. Or two, we get another massive liquidation event, which takes us all the way down, at least a wick down, to $16,718. Actually, there's a third possibility, and the third possibility is that in terms of moving averages, we register an all-time low. I mean, what if we're actually retesting this all-time high? Oh, it's not even an all-time high, but it's a high. You know, what if we're coming in to test this high over here? Anything's possible at this point. If we get a massive liquidation event, cascading effects, it could get ugly. However, I will say that historically speaking, those who have done well with Bitcoin, in investing in Bitcoin, have bought into the market when Bitcoin is at the 200-week EMA. The 200-week EMA has always been a perfect time to buy into Bitcoin. So if you bought it here, from the, let's say you bought it right at the 200-week EMA, 200-week moving average, not EMA, you made 8,192%. at the top at least. If you bought it here, 337%. If you bought it here, 1,183%. Which is crazy because if you bought it here, you bought it at $5,500, even though it went all the way down to $4,000, basically 39 something, 39 and some change. So this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if I were buying Bitcoin right now, which I'm not, I would DCA. I'd start buying a little right now, and I would have buy orders waiting all the way down at the 300-week EMA or slightly above it, or 300-week moving average or slightly above it. That's what I would do, because as bloody as this is, in the long run, in hindsight, it's creating an opportunity of a lifetime. And the lower it goes, the greater that opportunity becomes. This, in hindsight, I mean, living through this was like, there's still PTSD for those of us who lived through this whole liquidation event in 2020. However, in hindsight, this was the biggest opportunity to be able to buy Bitcoin down at below $4,000. That provided you with an opportunity for a almost 1,700% gain. So in hindsight, this was the greatest moment. See, the problem is with human nature, we tend to think the bull run doesn't start till up here somewhere, but the real opportunities are always at the bottom. And so as we come into the bottom, we've got to think differently about the bottom. The bottoms are opportunities. The problem is we're thinking about our past investments instead of thinking about our future profits. And, thinking 3 to 5 years from now, you're going to look back on this moment and say, I know I'm going to look back on this moment. And it's crazy because, my wife, she's not into putting anything more into this market. But she said to me yesterday, if we come down here and retest this 300-week EMA, I'm all for buying some more. So I'm watching it, folks. I'm watching it. We're going to talk about liquidation. We've got to talk about Michael Saylor. I'm going to make another video probably tomorrow morning to talk about MicroStrategies. Did they get liquidated? Because their liquidation point was $21,000. And I want to show I'll show some evidence for why I don't believe they got liquidated. I'm fairly certain they did not. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty much positive they did not get liquidated, and I'll tell you why. But that does not mean, with the announcement coming out from the Fed today that there's going to be another interest rate hike, fear greed is at 7. I mean, this is crazy. Is this an all-time low for fear greed? Darn near close to it. Look at this. I mean, even here we were at 17. Right now we're at 7. Have we ever been that low? August. Yeah, see, August 2019, we were down at 11. I mean, this is crazy. Extreme fear. Extreme fear. Bitcoin dominance, I think, is going to drop. I'm expecting at least a retest of this line down here at about 39%. I think Bitcoin dominance has topped out. It hit this line of resistance, and now it's going to, it also hit this line of resistance in the RSI. I think Bitcoin dominance is going to drop, which means that right now, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing on this chart, it's safer to be in the alts for the time being than it is to be in Bitcoin, which means for once, I think if the market drops, Bitcoin's going to drop faster than the altcoins drop, which is not normal. But looking at this chart, I think we're going to experience a loss of Bitcoin dominance. I was expecting the alts to hold this line. The alts did not hold the line. We are severely oversold on the altcoin market cap chart. all-time low in the RSI. And that's the thing, going back to this Bitcoin chart, we're at an all-time low in the RSI. Bitcoin's RSI on the weekly chart has broken beneath its previous all-time low, and that previous all-time low goes all the way back to January of 2015. We're at an all-time low. So I say all that to say, folks, there's nothing in Bitcoin's history that can predict with any certainty what's getting ready to happen in the market. We see certain trends, but there's so much fear in the market right now, and so many factors, so many geopolitical factors as well. It could get really bad. I think the thing that we just need to keep in mind is that the worse it gets, the better it is for us in the long run. If it gets bad, it is not good for our past investments, but it's amazing for our future investments. So we have to think in terms of future rather than in terms of past. We need to think in that way, like rejoice when it dumps, cry when it pumps. We tend to rejoice at the wrong time. Rejoice when it dumps, cry when it pumps. Why? Because when it dumps, when Bitcoin gets down here into the severely oversold category on the weekly chart, we've only had 2 such opportunities to buy it, back here and back here. If you'd have bought at both of these places, if you just go back and wait for Bitcoin to break beneath this line and then buy it there, you would have bought it on this candle here at about $173, and you would have bought it again up here at $3,300. And so now that we're back in that territory, on the next leg up, you'll look back and say, wow, that was a perfect place. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy it, not to buy it, to abstain from buying it. This is just what the chart is telling me. All right, that's all I got for you today. We're going to talk more about Michael Saylor and liquidations in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/cryptogenic. We live stream at the Gold Community every Monday afternoon. I take questions and do live TA with that group for more than about an hour. So check that out. But above all, make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.